The NBA bubble has been very interesting and entertaining so far. Some players rising to the challenge and playing better than they were expected to play, and other players just being very disappointing. But today we're going to focus on the positive side and talk about 5 very young players that have played great in the NBA bubble. This is Hardwood Vibes and Jackson Rogers. Like and subscribe on the video if you haven't already. Subscribe for NBA content like this weekly, and let's get right into it. The first player we're going to get into is Keldon Johnson. Keldon Johnson was very highly recruited in high school as he went to Oak Hill and went to college at Kentucky for 1 season. In that season, he averaged 13 points, 5.8 rebounds, and 1.6 assists on underwhelming shooting splits. It wasn't the greatest season from Johnson, but you could see the potential in him, and that was good enough to get him drafted in the first round. He was drafted to the Spurs, which was probably the best organization for him because he has been groomed this entire season, and because of LaMarcus Aldridge being out, those big chunk of minutes, a lot of them has gone to Keldon Johnson. And in those minutes, he has been averaging 12.4 points, 5.8 rebounds, and on 60% from the field and 70% from 3. Now, in college, he was not known as a 3-point shooter, but in the bubble, he has been shooting fantastic from 3, and it's really encouraging for the future of Keldon Johnson. I really like Keldon Johnson. I hope he does fantastic in the future, and he will be a big reason that if the Spurs make the playoffs, why they did, because he has been playing insane in the bubble, and not only he's been playing great in the bubble on offense, he's also been playing pretty well on defense, and because he was such an outlier and nobody was really expecting for him to play better, it has been great because they're getting that performance and that output from people that they were not expecting to have it from. Obviously, they were expecting to get output from DeRozan, Derek White, Bryn Forbes, Poto, all the people in the starting lineup, but like Walker and Johnson have been very surprising, and it's really encouraging for this future of the Spurs team. The second player I'm going to be talking about is Trent Jr. Trent Jr. was a very highly recruited player out of high school, being the 14th ranked player in his high school class. He went to Duke, had a decent career at Duke in his 1 season. He had pretty good numbers and shot very well, so I'm not really sure why he was drafted so low in the draft. He was drafted with the 36th pick in the NBA draft. I don't know why he was drafted so low, but anyway. And in his first season, in his rookie season, he was in the G League for most of the year. Didn't get that much burn on the top team. But this season, he's got a lot of opportunity because of how depleted the Portland Trail Blazers were this season. They had a lot of injuries, and because of that, he had a lot of opportunity. And in the actual regular season, he averaged 8.8 points on very good shooting splits. But he really broke out in this NBA bubble. In the NBA bubble, he's been averaging 17 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists on insane shooting splits, especially from the 3-point line, and has been a really gritty defender for the Portland Trail Blazers, and that's why he has carved out a role on this Portland Trail Blazers team and will have one for the very near future. Now let's get into the next player, and the player that I think is going to have the most impact in the future, and that is Michael Porter Jr. This last season and this entire season that we've been playing before the restart, we've been saying, give Porter Jr. more minutes. Why is Porter Jr. not playing that much? And now Mike Malone has let him loose, and he has been going insane in the bubble, averaging 22 points, 8.5 rebounds on 41% from 3 and 54% from the field. He's shooting over 50% in the bubble and is being a great second option next to Nikola Jokic. Jamal Murray has only played 1 or 2 games, I think, so Michael Porter Jr. has really been the number 2 option to Jamal Murray, and I really feel like that's how it's really going to be in the future, because Michael Porter Jr. is one of the most talented players in the league and was the best player in high school, was supposed to be the best player in college before he got hurt. So this is not a surprise to me, but it's a really surprising and out of nowhere jump because of how many minutes and how much production he's actually getting and getting allowed to get because of the minutes that he's playing. So that is the surprise to me. The talent and the production is not that big of a surprise. It's just how out of a sudden Mike Malone has let Bobo, Michael Porter Jr., all these young players play just out of nowhere. And I'm really excited that he's starting to do that, and it'll really make him better for this bubble playoff run. So I'm excited for the Nuggets and Michael Porter Jr. Next player I have up, although on the 1-7 team in the bubble, the Washington Wizards, I have Troy Brown Jr. Troy Brown Jr. is a very intriguing player and one of the smartest young players in this league, as he seems always a step ahead, and that's really interesting and important for a young player. Troy Brown in the bubble has been averaging 15 points, 6.8 rebounds, and 4.8 assists. The shooting splits have been great, but I'm just excited and really excited to see him being very aggressive, getting to the rim and things like that, and being the #1 playmaker on the team, and also being a good defender and a decent rebound for his position. I think he's playing some 1, a lot of 2, and some 3, so he's doing a lot at those 3 positions, and he has been one of the bright spots for the Washington Wizards as they got demolished in the bubble but got a win in the very last game. Troy Brown didn't play very well in the last game when they got the dub. He only shot 3 for 15, and he had a lot of bad shooting games, but I'm just really excited for him getting to the rim, facilitating like he is. He had 3 games where he had more than 8 assists. He had a 10 assist game and 2 8-assist games, so I'm just really excited for the production from the assist department and just him getting to the bucket and being aggressive, so that's why I have him on this list. The next player we're going to get into is Cam Johnson. Johnson didn't get a lot of opportunity in the regular season, but when he got to the bubble, he got a lot more opportunity, and his stats and his production went up as well. As the Suns thrived in the bubble, Cam Johnson thrived as well, as instead of averaging only 8.8 points, he averaged 13.2 points, 6.8 rebounds, and only shot 34% from 3, but he shot 50% from the field. He was advertised as a 3-point shooter coming in from college, but he has shown other aspects of his game that he's actually going to be pretty good at. In college, he wasn't advertised as a great defender, but he has shown flashes of being a really good defender. He has also shown flashes of being a really good rebounder, as in the bubble. He has had 2 12 rebounding games. I honestly did not watch the Suns a lot in the regular season, but I watched him a lot in the bubble, and he was just a really intriguing player going along with Mikal Bridges. Him and Mikal Bridges can be a really good 3 and 4 duo for the years to come, as they both can really shoot, and Johnson's getting a little bit better at defense, as I can see, but Bridges is a really good perimeter defender, but he can also be a great rebounder. Like I said, he had 2 12 rebounding games, so he's showing other aspects of his game besides just being a sharpshooter. And when he gets his sharpshooting his back, he can be really a stretch 4 kind of person that can play defense, get some rebounds, and other things like that. So Cam Johnson is a really good, intriguing player, and I'm excited what he's going to do in the future. Alright guys, that's all I got for you guys today. I just really want to get in depth on these young surprising players that showed a lot in the bubble, and it was a pretty cool video to make, to just give some love to some other people that haven't been getting a lot of love, like Troy Brown Jr. and other people like that. So like and subscribe to the video if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time.